am back. I took the battery. Took the battery out to check, see if it had enough water. And while I had it out, I decided to take it back to the parts store and see if they could test it, which they did. It's supposed to be an 875 cranking amp battery, and it was testing at about 270. So luckily, I'd only had this battery about a month. They gave me a new one. This one was manufactured just last month, so I'm hoping we get some better results with that. But before I put it in, I'm gonna take the positive ground, I'm gonna replace that. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. I got one with this kit that I ordered. The one that I got, the new one, is more like a strap than a cable, but apparently this is the way they used to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this and then put the battery back in, and we'll see how it cranks from here. Okay, surprisingly, this bolt was not too hard to loosen that connects this to the engine block. There's also another kind of strap type thing back here that I do have a replacement for also. It's the engine block to the firewall. So I do have a replacement, so I'll probably just go ahead and do that as well since I'm in here doing this without the battery on it. Makes it a little bit easier to access this side of the engine. But we'll take this off, see how that looks. This cable actually looks not too bad compared to the negative cable. Was kind of cracked and frayed, but well, it could use to be replaced. It could stand to be replaced. There's a little bit at where the insulation's coming off, but as far as I know, this is still operating as it should. Another thing that I've thought of is that I don't necessarily have to have the negative terminal over here. I have plenty of room, so I might install the battery the other way around. That would probably help these cables not have to jumble them in like this, and then the other one, although it probably really doesn't matter. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed, and then we're gonna try out this new battery. Okay, I have this new ground strap in there. I'm gonna try to get it started. Here, we'll get it tightened on. This back here is that other ground strap. If you can see this thing here, it's pretty frayed into nothing. But that just leads from the engine block back to the firewall to give it another ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that since I'm in here. Okay, this is what was on there for this engine to firewall ground, which I guess it was still working. It looks like it was just some braided wires. But this is what they sent me to replace that with. So I guess I'll just install this one. Hopefully it'll work. It seems to be a lot thinner, but I don't know how much this one was doing in the condition that it's in. But I assume it was still working. Uh-oh. I don't think that'll fit on there. Nope. It'll only fit on one side. So we might have to be putting this other one back on. I didn't even think about that, but one of the holes is significantly smaller, and it doesn't have a it won't fit over that bolt that's sticking out. So we'll see what we're gonna have to do. Okay, so I had to ream that ground strap a little bit, but I got that on. Got that attached to the engine block. Got the positive cable attached to the engine block. Got that right here. So I guess we are ready to try this new battery out. Get this new battery put in. Okay, got the new battery connected. See what happens. well, it's spinning, so guess we can move on. From here, I'll probably replace the coil, then start on this, the points, the condenser, and the wires and the cap and all that. I got new stuff for all that, so that'll probably be our next step. Okay, they sent me this diagram along with my tune-up kit that I ordered. It's got the firing order, it's got the cap, the ignition coil. I'm just going to double check to make sure that this is correct, but I assume it is, and I've already checked the first couple and it seems to be right. So I just want to double check before I take everything off to make sure I know where everything's going to go. So yeah, we got one. The way they have these numbered is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we'll set this like this, and we got one down here at the very bottom, and that appears to be this one, which this one, that's completely worn. That won't even stay on the plug anymore. I've tried plugging that one on and it doesn't. I was just thinking this this cable from the coil into the distributor cap doesn't look that bad. That when I pulled that off, that looks like it would still function, but I got a new one, so I'll go ahead and replace them. This wire here that leads to the coil is in pretty poor shape, but it leads back to a big cluster of wires back here, see, on the other side of the engine. So that leads back into there, and from there I don't even know where that goes, so I'd have to look into that. But for now, I guess we're just gonna put it back on, see if it works. That's probably gonna have to be replaced. And Pop said he has some wires for this that can be used, so I mean, all of these wires are in terrible shape. Look at that one there is barely hanging on. Not sure what that does, but it looks like it's just some sort of a ground wire, so hopefully that's still grounding whatever it needs to ground, but I don't know. The ground wire for the coil back here, that could probably stand to be replaced too, but I'm not going to worry about that right now because I don't have one of those. It looks like it might even interfere with this belt if it's not put on at the right angle. But we'll try to get it on at the right angle. Try to get it to where it'll work. That this side's going to be positive, but I'm going to check that because it's a positive ground, and that's ground, but I need to double check that because I'm not sure. Okay, I got the coil off, and I went ahead and I took the cap off, and I'm looking at the points in the condenser right now. I do have new points and a new condenser, so since I'm this far in, I guess I'll go ahead and replace both of those. I need to figure out the gap on the points. It looks like I got it in an open position right now, if you can see that or not. It looks like they're in an open position, so maybe I'll just sand those and see what happens. But since I'm here, I guess I can replace the condenser also. I've heard that causes a lot of problems on these engines, so. All right, we'll get that out, and we'll get the new one, see how difficult it is to get that off. All right, I think I got the new points on. I got the new condenser on. This wire was a little bit too long, so I kind of had to fish it around, put it in backwards, but I got the points open at this point, and I got my spark plug adapter here, and I got 0.16, and I've read these are supposed to be 0.14, 0.16. And they're open right now, and it looks like I am right about at that 0.16 mark. So I'm going to put a new rotor on. I'm going to put a new cap on. And then from there, we'll have to start getting the plug wires out and getting those on and see if we can get some spark out of this thing. Okay, got the new rotor here. Gonna get that on. There's a little notch on there, so you can't put it on the wrong way. There we are. Seems to be on there. We got the new cap here. There's supposedly a notch in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. There's a number 1 right there. That's supposed to go straight down, and that signifies where the number 1 plug wire goes. So we'll just go ahead and put this cap on just to keep it clean for now. Get that thing out of there. Got that number 1 going down. It clips in there. There's a little notch it clips into. Then you can put the clips on, although those are hard to get on. I had to use a screwdriver before. There is one on the bottom too. Where's that one at? I see it. Did that thing? Hope that clip didn't fall off. No, it's just back there. All right, let's get this seated on here again. There we are. That's tough. See if we can get the other one on. And the other one clipped on. There we are. There we are. Now they're clipped on there. All right, does that look nice and pretty, nice and shiny on there? So from here, we'll have to get some wires on and see if we can get a spark.